We discuss the latest fullback January news, Paris Saint-Germain make a big offer for one of our defenders, and of course, we discuss Ousmane DembELE and whether he should be the right signing to make on a free for next summer. Hope you guys enjoy, smash that like button, and without wasting no more time, let's kick things off and discuss the latest news surrounding January targets. Now of course, we know that we need to find a replacement for TUCHEL and Reece James right now, and the main target the club want is Emerson on a recall loan. Makes a ton of sense, you guys, when you break down the fact that currently there are 5 left backs on the club's books. You're looking at Marcus Alonso, Ben Chilwell, you're looking at forgotten guys like Baba Rackman, young Ian Matson as well too, and of course Emerson as well. For us to go on the market to sign a new left back would be absolutely absurd. That would take the total to 6, and imagine the money we are spending just on 5 fullbacks currently. So for me, it's the best course of action to do our most and do the best to recall Emerson. Yeah, it might piss off Lyon, but I think that the fact that we're saving a lot more money compared to making a move for someone like a Digne, where you're paying for that loan fee, you're paying for his wages, which is over 100k per week, you're paying for his agent fees too, and of course, Everton want that option to buy at the end inserted in the deal as well. So it's a lot of headaches and a lot of stress, and we got no time for it, honestly. The new reports from Aston Villa though suggest that they are currently holding talks with Digne's team right now over the possibility of signing him in January. And for me, you guys, that is like the power that, former legends in the game have. Steven Gerrard is already enticed Coutinho to sign for them. Got Digne coming as well too. Aston Villa are starting to look a little bit formidable now, coming up during January. But anyway, let's go back to Emerson. What's taking so long? It does seem like by the end of next week, by next Monday, hopefully he is back in the club, and hopefully this entire saga is over. Now of course, there are some complications. Originally, as we all know, when we allowed Emerson to sign for Lyon on loan, there was an option to buy inserted in that deal set at 50 million euros, which is around 13 million pounds. Now the reports today state that there are complications now, which of course prohibit Lyon allowing them to leave based on the fact that there is the option to buy inserted in the end. Now, to break it down even further, Lyon ideally have to secure a top 3 position to be able to even afford to sign Emerson at the end of this loan spell. And I guess that gives us some leeway now to negotiate and I guess pay a pretty hefty or reasonable compensation fee to bring Emerson back. Of course, big pressure on Lyon though, because he is their #1 left back. He's been one of their top players this season as well too. But on good news, Emerson is keen on the return back. That Tuchel's positive words towards him during press conferences, of course, you can't be ignoring that. And as I keep saying, this is Emerson's opportunity he's been waiting for so many years. Now that Ben's out, you finally have a chance to, surpass Marcus Alonso and become the main guy in the team. And the fact that Tuchel admires you so much, that can only give you more confidence. With his ability to play in many different positions, which we actually first saw under Frank Lampard, who also sometimes used him down the right wing and further forward as a left midfield player as well too, I definitely think this is the smartest thing for us to do to actually bring Emerson back. But you guys in the comment section, how do you feel about this news? Are you a bit disappointed that we aren't signing someone? Or do you think that we're making the right decision in bringing Emerson back? Now I need to get one quick plug out of the way first. Currently on the club's megastore, you guys, there are sale items available for 25% off. And with one item in particular, I've been getting a lot of compliments recently for wearing this, and now it's a perfect time for you to buy for yourselves. As you guys can see on screen, I have been wearing the black polo. For me, it's one of the best items currently. If you use code CFCSale25, now is the best time to cop the black polo for a significant reduction. Like I said, you guys, I'm here to hook you up, I'm here to help you out. But now, let's get back to the video. Now, we discuss one of the big stories today, and that is our interest in Ousmane DembELE. Now, for this story, I have to break down some of the contractual news coming behind the scenes involving Barcelona and Ousmane DembELE before I end things by giving my thoughts and opinions behind whether he is the best one to sign, considering that Tuchel actually said categorically that, he is one of the craziest natural talents he's ever had the opportunity of coaching. At this point in time, there are still no turnarounds when it comes to contract talks. Currently, Barca and his agent are in a rock and a hard place. Barcelona keeps saying all the time, categorically from Xavi and from Laporta, that they see DembELE as one of the leaders of the new project at Barcelona. And his agent is basically saying if that's the case, then reflect that in the contracts we're giving him. The offer that Barca have made towards DembELE has not satisfied his agent or DembELE himself yet, hence why DembELE has still not committed to anything and is still playing off a bit colds. Now, one of the reasons why DembELE is currently stalling with his talks with Barcelona is due to interest that we've expressed in him, as well as interest from clubs like Paris Saint-Germain, Man United, and many other more. Now, the reports surrounding his wage demands, I've done a lot of research behind this. I'm not seeing anything like super concrete to suggest the fact that he wants 40 million pre-tax plus more bonuses of rounding up to over 30 million on top, which is like an astronomical wage. I'm not seeing the concrete proof behind that, so I don't want to use that against him. One report suggested that when Xavi learned of the wage demand, suggesting that ideally, and DembELE is pocketing 50 mil per season, he was left speechless, and the reporter was basically suggesting that this is why Bayern Munich won't make a free offer for him in the summer. For me, it just doesn't make too much sense, because if he was given this contract, then he's I think the highest earning player in the world, and for someone who's had his injury inconsistencies, it just doesn't really add up. However, I kind of see it from a different perspective too. Barcelona have spent an absolute fortune on him, over 120 million plus his incredibly high wages as well too. The fact that he'd be leaving on the free with Barca having nothing to show for this financially is an absolute L of the highest order, and it sums up their terrible management at the top over these past few seasons. If I'm Barcelona, I'm putting stories out there saying that this guy is asking for ridiculous wages to try and just put off any clubs potentially interested in him. So far, the only club that has made an offer for him has been Newcastle, who offered 50 million per season plus other additional bonuses and signing on fees, with DembELE swiftly turning that deal down. And currently it seems like Barcelona are starting to accept that they may be resigned to losing him, hence their interest now in Adama Traore from Wolves, which for me would be a pretty fun thing to see at Barcelona. But now, you guys, let me give some of my thoughts and opinions behind the story on whether DembELE could low-key be a decent move to make. Yes, of course, he has had his injury concerns, but one of the realities with DembELE now is that he is in a very extreme specialist program. And yeah, he has picked up injuries this season, a slight knee injury during the start, and his hamstring was aggravated again too. But when you look at how he was starting his first few seasons at Barcelona, I mean, these injuries are really keeping him out time and time again. Last season was a big positive. He was literally barely out for the season, and with his hamstring injuries now, his recovery time is a lot quicker than it ever used to be before. So clearly, whatever regimen he's on is clearly working. And for me, I just want to focus a bit more on this guy's talents. And let's just ignore the money. Let's ignore the the injuries and the history. Talent-wise, this guy is an absolute sensation. Left foot, right foot to the same level, like pure embodiment of 5-star weak foot. The guy doesn't even know what his best foot is, ideally. And it's when it comes to breaking the lines, when that imagination, that skill, that ability, this guy oozes this. This guy has this in absolute abundance, and there's a big reason why Barcelona, not only just for financial reasons, but for sporting reasons too, they want to keep this guy, because this guy does very special things. Now, last season was decent, had its ups and downs. He was out the team tactically due to Koeman's kind of dead tactics as well too, but his involvement was very key for them, and it helped them with their successes for last season. And when he plays, this guy can play make. This guy can get past anyone for fun. He has a very good shooting technique as well too. And the imagination, I feel like with us, we still lack that player in the Hazard mold that can really break the lines and just create havoc in opposition teams. And with DembELE, I'm not expecting this guy to be playing week in, week out to have to justify his investment. But if he can have big impacts in the big games, I think that's where we could benefit from that, considering that, okay, you're paying for the wages, you're giving this guy a nice signing on fee as well too. And on top of that, if anything happens, you're guaranteed to make some money from him if we ever sell him on. I think ultimately though, Tuchel will have the biggest say behind whether any move gets done for him, because of course Tuchel has raved about this guy's abilities before, and this is where DembELE was even really put on the map like that. Yeah, he had a great season at Rennes, but moving to Dortmund, playing under Tuchel, this is when he became a guy that was worth over 100 million. So if Tuchel pushed for him, I'd understand. And accepting the fact that we already have certain players who have injury histories as well too. I guess if you were hypothetically replacing Pulisic, earning money from him to then get DembELE, I guess that could work out. But you guys, it's only just some hypothetical thoughts. I'm not too strong for this. I'd love to read your comments on this story below though, so definitely get involved. And for the final story today, we discuss the latest news surrounding Rudiger contract talks, because From Foot Masato, they report that Paris Saint-Germain have now come in, offering him a contract which exceeds the offer that Real Madrid have put down. Now the contract's offered, it's around 7 million net euros per season. And you have to realize that when you take away all the deductibles like taxes and other, expenses as well too, that is the money that he earns left afterwards. So that's still a ton of money, and that's one of the reasons why players ask for 12 million, 10 million a season, because they still have things like taxes that they have to cover as well too. So it's interesting to see. Reports suggest that Rudiger, if he had to leave us, still prefers Real Madrid, and the way he's stalling right now, there's still hopes that ideally his main option is to remain at this club. I'm really hoping that, in January we get some positive news, at least for the next month or two, that we can get Rudy to commit, that we can offer him that contract we want. I feel like that destabilization of losing him, I think it's not needed, to be honest, and I think there's better ways to transition away from him compared to just letting him leave on a free, because for me, bro, we aren't Arsenal. We can't be paying all this contract, paying his transfer fee as well too, to get nothing from it in the end. I'm hoping that there can be a workaround, because I guess, listen, if Rudy is one of the top players in the squad right now, as per DembELE, and as is the normal practice in football, the contract has to reflect that. So you guys, on that note, that is the end for today's news. Let's see if any more news does break today. And of course, don't forget to check out some of my 2 new series and what we learned. And of course, my feature of football therapy yesterday, where we break down all the craziness that happened last week at Chelsea. So you guys, on that note, I'm in EFC. This is Blue Lines TV. I'll catch you guys later for some more videos. Cool.